Hi, my name is Geoffrey Wilcoxson. I'm with MP Digital. We are a performance marketing agency in San Diego, California. I want to thank Magnetic Experiences for putting together this virtual summit, and I'm hopeful that all the information, all the summit participants will provide you value that will be important for your business in the days to come. A few years back, I was part of a research team assigned a content strategy for a client in the cancer research and treatment vertical. And I had the opportunity of interviewing 8 cancer survivors. It was a very powerful moment, both for me personally, but also for me professionally. Because as I was interviewing them, I learned something really valuable, that speaking to your customers, understanding their needs, understanding what drives their motivation is a great way to build your content strategy. And I'm going to finish the rest of the story at the end, but let's go ahead and dive into the presentation here. All right, so I want to talk about content strategy for your customers. The reality for your customers is there is this moment of time in between an older service or an older product and a new product. And we really want to market to the moments that matter. We know that in that moment, they are doing research, they're talking to their peers, they're online, they are searching for information to help them make the best decision that they can. The B2B journey and the rule of 7, if you're not familiar with the rule of 7, most people say that a customer needs to hear your message 7 times before they take action. And Gartner put together this great study about the B2B journey. I think what is most interesting is that 65% of customers are getting prepared to talk to a sales rep so that they can have a more engaging conversation. And so they're more prepared than ever. But we also know that the B2B journey is very complex. So the way that we think about winning online, or to be successful, or to earn the right to win, are through these 3 principles. You need to have great content, you need to have a technically clean website, and you need to engage in some type of promotion, whether that be media or digital PR. But today we're going to talk about great content. We are under a state of content saturation. If you look at these 3 platforms, Google, YouTube, Instagram, you can see there is just way too much information that is available. Google stated a few years back that they have crawled 130 trillion pages. YouTube says that 5 billion videos are watched every day. Not every year, every day. I think my kids are probably contributing to that number. And Instagram says that they have over 40 billion images and videos on their platform. That's a lot of content. I'm in the digital marketing arena, vertical, and if I look at just digital marketing, Google says there's 2.6 billion pages they deem relevant for that particular keyword. That's a lot of competition. The content supply definitely exceeds demand. It does not follow the same curve. There's an estimated 1 billion blogs on the internet. That means there's 1 blog for every 7 people. That's a lot of reading material. But what is Google doing? Well, Google is trying to make changes to keep pace with all of this content. In 2017, on average, they were making 4 improvements to their algorithm. Compared to 2018, that shot up to 9 improvements on average daily. And a lot of that is to understand content, understand the quality of the content, the relevancy of the content, because at the end of the day, they want to make sure that when you search online, you can find the most relevant, truthful information to help you understand what you're looking for. I think this quote definitely exemplifies what's going on today, that more content is not better, and most B2B customers are feeling increasingly overwhelmed and paralyzed instead of empowered. So I don't know where you fall on that spectrum between having too much content or not enough content, but I hope that this information will help you understand where you need to start, what's important for your business, and how to get there. So our content strategy, the way that we think about content for our clients, are really into these two key content opportunities. First, being the best answer. Being the best answer online. So if somebody has a question, how do you provide and be the best answer compared to all the other websites that are out there? Second, create shareable assets. Create something that's useful that people actually want to share. So let's break that down a little bit. Best answers really capture demand. The best answer content may have a small audience size, yet a very high conversion value. And if you're able to tap into your customers' challenges as they search for a solution, you are definitely going to win. This type of content does really well for search on Google and the search engines. It also is a great way for driving traffic. And really that goal of this content is to capture that demand when they are looking for it. Be able to tap into that moment that matters for that particular company. So what does that look like? Well, being the best answer really breaks down into kind of these three criteria. One is length, design, and chapters. Based on our research, we have noticed that the sites that rank at the top typically have a word count of close to 1,700 words. Second, we also noticed that they will provide really engaging content through graphics and imagery, which provides a better experience and can help you stand out from your competition. We also noticed that if you can take your long form content and break them up into chapters, it helps to establish the authoritativeness, the trustworthiness of this content. So if you think through length and design of chapters, I think that's a great way to think through your long form content. Next is shareable assets create demand. We know that we love to get great information, especially from our friends, our peers, that allows us to be more informed. So a shareable asset can be one or a combination of infographics or videos or widgets. This content may be low on the conversion value, but the audience size is much larger. This is the type of content that's great for top of the funnel. Also, shareable assets are the type of content that publishers and journalists and writers love to reference and use within their own content. So this type of content also has the ability to gain backlinks. Yet, what if you were to combine the best answer with shareable content? So you created this long form piece of content, maybe 2,000 word count, but then you also work with a graphic designer, maybe to build an infographic or put together explainer video. And then you combine these two types of content, you can now create something that will truly win, that will truly stand out from your competition, something that's going to really create buzz for your business. So why this approach? Why this approach to content? So this is our digital or our business owner. She's definitely social distancing. She's got a beautiful view of the lake, but she is trying to think through, like, what kind of content do I need to develop for my target customers? So to win on Google, you do need to have great content. And you need to think through both intent and usability. And intent is really understand what is your target audience or your customers, what are they trying to do? What are they trying to solve? What kind of problems do they have? But you also need to make sure you have strong usability on your website. So we want to make sure that when they come to your website, they can find that information and it is formatted in a way that is pleasing to your audience. If we're going to talk about brand, we also have to think through, what does Google say about brands? They've been saying this for over a decade, that your brand online really is a reflection of both your website design, the content you publish, and the value that you provide. So, and this isn't for the Fortune 500. You can have a great, valuable local brand. So whether you're a financial advisor, you're a restaurant, you're a plumber, you can have a great brand online. And a lot of that comes through great, useful content. And to get that visibility on the first page through your content, it's going to really require understanding who your audience is and what their needs are. Really trying to understand what problems do they need to solve and how you can help them through that particular problem. So you can do SEO, you can build content, and you can build your domain authority. You might get to the first page of Google, but when you really align and create the best answer, you create shareable assets, you build backlinks, you understand how people are searching for your brand, you have the opportunity to really to drive your visibility to the top 3 positions within Google. But it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take time, but this is the opportunity that you really want to go after. So genuinely connected content really fuses the customer's needs with your business goals. So if you only think about your business goals and you create content, sell, provide the products, features, and benefits, without addressing what the customer needs, you're really just shouting about your business. You're not really connecting with who they are. So you definitely want to think through your values, your goals, your identity, your personality as a brand. But if you marry that up with what the consumers want, what are their beliefs, what are their expectations, their feelings, their behaviors, and create content that really fuses what you're trying to do as a business, but what your customers need to accomplish, that is a great recipe for success, a great strategy for your content. So that's at a very high level. Let's maybe dive a level deeper and think through the buyer's journey, or thinking through a content map that really maps to the different phases of the buyer's journey. Unfortunately, what happens is a lot of companies, a lot of websites will develop content kind of at the bottom of the funnel. Here's our price, there's free shipping, here's all our benefits, yet there's a greater opportunity to build content at the top of the funnel. So as you're thinking through the buyer's journey, you're thinking about all the questions that are going to be asked along the journey. Think about how do you build content across that. And we're going to talk a little bit about a fun workshop at the end of this that you can work with either within yourself or within your team to help you think through that content strategy as it maps to the buyer's journey. But you really want to think through what is the content that needs to be available and useful across each phase. One thing that's also important based on the change within Google's algorithm, in 2018, there was an update that Google released, and one of the ranking factors that came out was this acronym called EAT, which stands for expertise, authority, and trust. And to create great content and valuable content and content that Google will deem relevant and worthy, you really want to think through these 3 criteria. So one is expertise. Who's writing your content? Is this a writer that is familiar with your product, or is this somebody maybe that's been in the industry for 10, 20, 30 years? Somebody who can speak with deep expertise, experience, and really whenever they make some type of claim around this particular product or service or industry, they know what they're talking about. One is authority. Are you creating content that's 300, 500 words? Or are you creating content that is very in-depth? Maybe that has the main topic, but then also has all of the other subtopics that are related to that. Are you asking specific questions around and answering those specific questions around that particular topic? And then trust. Do you need to have a website that is checking all the boxes in regards to how Google analyzes and evaluates websites? So you want to think about through your site security, UX signals, making sure that it has proper grammar. if you work through these three criteria as you're developing your content, I think that's going to be valuable. We talked a little bit about content length. Our co-founder and CMO, Neil Patel, recently published this content around how to adapt your marketing during the coronavirus. This piece of content had 1,600 words, and I believe maybe had 7 to 8 different graphs and images that supported the content. It was a very compelling piece, very valuable piece. Here's a link if you want to take a look at it. And then through some similar research, we noticed that word count for articles that ranked high within Google had a higher word count. So typically 1,700 words or more. So you want to think through how to go as deep as you can with your content. The other thing that's great is once you develop a piece of content, that doesn't mean that you just set it and forget it. You might want to come back and refresh it. Maybe there's some new research that's come out. Maybe there's some new news, or you take a different approach, or you can expand on an approach. So you develop a piece of content, maybe it's got 1,500 keywords. In a couple of months, come back, maybe add a couple hundred more keywords to make that more in depth and flesh out some of your ideas or the POV that you have. So you're thinking about your content. Maybe let's think about, instead of your net new content, let's think about your existing content. Here's a great resource. It's called siteliner.com. You can see the URL on the bottom right. And it allows you to analyze your website, whether you have duplicate or unique content. And if you've created a lot of blogs around a particular topic and they're really similar, or using a lot of the same content on every single page, this resource will help you to determine and to discover those pages that have very common and duplicate content. So you want to make sure that all of your pages have a uniqueness about them and provide very specific value for every single page. It's really important. The downside, if you continue to have duplicate content, is Google may deem those pages duplicative and not as valuable, and they may not want to serve those pages because they already have another page on your website that is addressing the same exact topic. So definitely go for uniqueness. But what is the value of original content? So here's kind of a fun case study. If you're familiar with the AMC channel, before 2007, they really just showed other people's content, other movies and shows. But they made a decision in 2017 to show their first original content, which was Mad Men. Very popular show. They followed that up with Breaking Bad and with The Walking Dead. All three of these shows have won countless awards and have really drove new net users to that channel. Mad Men averaged about 3.3 million viewers per episode. Breaking Bad, 10.3 viewers per episode. The Walking Dead, 14.4 million viewers. That is a lot of new traffic and new eyeballs to this channel. So that's great. Lots of great viewers, but what did that do to the revenue? Well, they 3x'd their revenues over the past decade. They went from 1.1 billion to 3 billion in revenues, a lot because they created this new original content. Now, you're probably not going to 3x your business into the billions, but if you start creating your own content, if you start doing research or pulling data from your company and starting creating net new content that you can publish and that you can iterate on, you have the opportunity to drive net new visitors to your website, which hopefully will translate into customers. So a lot of information. That's kind of the why content is so important, and what you can, the kind of way to think about the value of building that content. Now, let's workshop. Let's do a quick workshop. I'm gonna give you kind of a framework of how you can do this with your team. Maybe it's by yourself. I'm gonna give you some resources. but you're thinking, well, Geoffrey, this all is great information, but where do I start? How should I, develop this content strategy? Maybe this is new to me, or it's been a while since I've thought through content. Well, I'm going to give you a framework on something that you can implement today or this week. And you can definitely do this virtually. So what are the things that you need to get started? One, you need to definitely schedule a brainstorming session with a small group of sales or customer service team members. Why sales and customer service? You want to invite people who talk to your customers or talk to your prospective customers. They know the questions, they know the pain, they know the needs of your customers better than anybody. Or this might be you. So if you are a solo entrepreneur and you're engaging with your customers, you have a probably pretty good idea. So whether it's a small team or you definitely think through inviting those who talk to you and touch your customers on a regular basis. If you can do this at home or eventually in your office, getting some 3x5 cards, some sticky notes, or using a virtual collaboration board. There's lots of tools that are out there to be able to work virtually through this workshop. And third and most important, you want to have a customer-centric mindset. You really want to think through who are your customers, what are their needs, what are they thinking and feeling and doing, what questions do they have, and then really try to tap into who they are. So let's get started. So first, let's map out just a really simplified buyer's journey. And the vertical that I decided to choose was financial services. Let's say you're a small firm or even a single financial advisor. How can you think about your content strategy through the lens of a buyer's journey? So I look at these 4 phases: awareness, consideration, purchase, and service. First is awareness. Somebody is thinking about, one of your customers thinking about, how do I save for retirement? That might be a question that they have. Maybe they've gotten to an age and a place within their career where they know they need to start saving for retirement. Maybe they just had their first child and they know that saving for retirement or saving for college is going to be important to them. So there might be a handful of different topics that are relevant at that awareness phase as they're starting to do their research and start to thinking about their financial future. Now they've done a little bit of research and they're going, okay, I'm thinking about an IRA. I heard they're important. Do I want a Roth or a traditional IRA? Where there's lots of information that is available and will help them understand what they need. There's tax implications around the different types of IRAs, and so you can help to inform them. So you're now, okay, I'm thinking about retirement. You've provided a piece of content that's valuable to them, helping them understand how important it is and how they can get started. Now they are thinking an IRA. Now you can help them to decide what's most important for their family, for their financial future, whether they need a Roth or a traditional. Now they're thinking, okay, I definitely want a Roth IRA. So how do I open a Roth IRA? What are the minimums? What do I need? How much money do I need to start one or to open one? And what are the implications around opening one and how to get started? And then finally, servicing that IRA. What are the contribution limits? How much can I put into my Roth on a yearly basis? How does that work with my wife or my spouse or my significant other? So now you can see there is a clear map of information, of content that you can develop across these 4 phases of a buyer's journey. So the next thing you want to do is you actually want to audit your website to see if you already have this content. Maybe these topics are net new to you, or maybe you already have some content developed. So you may go through your website and say, okay, well, I have content for how to save for retirement, maybe some other topics that are kind of within that awareness phase. But then you can start to see the holes. You can start to see where you need to develop content. You may have a piece of content, but it's kind of weak. Maybe it's shallow. Maybe there's only 300 words on how to open an IRA, and where maybe there's an opportunity to expand that content. So as you're auditing your site content, you can say, okay, what do I need to publish? What do I need to write? What needs to perhaps need to be expanded upon or refreshed to make it more valuable? So you've perhaps done this on a wall in your house or your office through a virtual board. You're now thinking, okay, well, how do I put that into action? Well, we want to think through, how do you take that workshop and put it into production? And typically what can come out of a journey map that is mapping to content is some type of editorial calendar. You can take a picture of that. You can capture all of the topics. You can look at where they're at within the buyer's journey. You can maybe think through if you have personas. You can also think about the priority level, and then say, okay, well, when do we want to publish this content? So you can put into a spreadsheet. You can also even create one that's kind of with sticky notes or on a wall. Is to think through, okay, in the month of May, we don't have content around Roth or traditional IRA. We know this is important. We've heard from a couple of our team members that this is an important question, very valuable. Let's go ahead and create some content for the Roth versus traditional IRA in the month of May. And as you're thinking through kind of all of the topics that came out of your workshop, you can say, okay, well, maybe we want some awareness content. And then in April, we want to then move to the contributions. We want to think through, how do we service this client? What are the contributions limits? We don't have a piece of content. So in April, we're going to do that piece of content. And we have a piece of content that is for the purchase phase or the consideration phase. And you can see how it can map out. So you don't want to take all of those topics and try to produce that content in 1 month, unless you have the resources, but most people don't, and they don't maybe not have the time. So how do you kind of map that out and really define the right kind of cadence? But you do want to get into a cadence where you can produce content on a monthly basis to start filling out your content calendar or your content strategy. But I also want to warn you that, and maybe encourage you, once you develop that piece of content, don't write another piece about the same exact topic. So you write a piece of content around how to save for retirement. Don't write a second version or a third version about the same exact topic. Go back to that original piece, revise it, expand on it, make it better, add some additional charge, add some new content, because you want that piece to really become kind of a tentpole or anchor piece of content. You don't want that great initial piece of content to be diluted by content that is similar to that one. So definitely think about building this tentpole piece of content and then expand on it. So you've done this this workshop. Maybe it was you, maybe it was a small team, but you're also thinking, there's other opportunities to do this research, to maybe help fill out this content calendar. So I wanted to give you a few other ideas on how to flesh out topics, themes, and ideas around your content strategy. AnswerThePublic.com is awesome. You definitely want to go try it out. They have a free version and they have a pro version. I took the topic 401k, and you can see that they build this beautiful graphic where they break out all the different questions, how and why, are, what, will, where, which. So I kind of blew up a section and wanted to say, okay, which 401k to choose. So people may have questions around which one to choose. You can develop content. So as you kind of go through all these different questions that customers are asking, you can see which ones might be relevant for your business, relevant to your customers, and also, do you have content to support some of these top questions? Another great research tool is Google itself. I'm sure you've noticed that when you type in keywords within Google, Google will then provide related searches or other related topics. So I just typed in 401k and Google gave me this complete list of relevant topics that other people are searching for. These are phrases and keywords and themes that are most relevant to people searching for 401k. So you can see that at the top, or you can sometimes also see that at the bottom of a search results page under related searches related to 401k. And you can see they are identical. So great way to kind of flesh out some additional themes. One is you can look at different keyword tools. This is Uber Suggest. This is a free tool that MP Digital has built. You can come in here, again, you can add in a keyword and it will give you all the different types of keyword ideas and how people are searching. You can see how many times people are searching for a particular keyword. You can look at the strength of it. You can also look at who you're competing against for those particular keywords. One I found was interesting was 401k max contribution. 33,000 people are searching for that particular keyword every month. Really valuable. Something to think about as you're developing your content strategy. But I would say the best research is to listen to your customers. Talk to them, ask them questions, survey them, use all of your different channels if possible to be able to capture information. So where to start? 1705. I want you to think through where to start is through one article. Try to write an in-depth piece that has at least 1,700 keywords or words, and with 5 or more supporting images or charts. Something really in-depth. So think through what is the most important question your customers ask. What is the one question that happens over and over again, whether it be in the sales cycle or servicing that client? What is the number one question, or what's the number one challenge or problem that they are facing? And then tackle it through that one article or that 1,700, through those 1,700 words and those 5 images. I think it's a great place to start. So when I had the opportunity to interview those cancer survivors and patients, the one theme that kept coming out over and over again was cancer testimonials. Cancer testimonials was one theme that kept coming over and over again. And I asked, you know, why? Why is a testimonial so important? And they said, Geoffrey, when you're fighting cancer, you're scared. There's a lot of misinformation. And you want to know if you can survive. And the testimonials gave them courage to continue the fight, gave them courage to make the changes in their diet and to do the things that they needed to do. The interesting thing, though, is with my background in search engine optimization and so tied to search volumes around keywords, if you look at the amount of people who search for cancer testimonials, it's very low. Globally, it's about 60 searches a month, globally. So if I took an SEO approach to content, it would, I probably would not have considered, because I'm thinking, well, it's not very valuable, that not very many people search for it. But to a cancer patient, it is extremely, extremely important. So listen to your customers, use lots of research, use Google, use Answer the Public, go through a workshop where you can understand kind of the buyer's journey and really kind of layer all those data points to create a great content strategy. Because at the end of the day, you do want to help your customers. You want to help them through the products and services that you provide, but you want it to be grounded on what they need and what's most important to them. I really appreciate the time with you. I hope this has been helpful. I hope this whole summit will be a real value to your company in the days to come. These are strange times, but I'm excited about how we can rally together and help each other as we want to grow our business and grow our lives. Be safe, be healthy. Again, this is Geoffrey Wilcoxson with MP Digital. Thank you.